They tell you Mars is a bloody dead rock, a frigid, lifeless desert where the only life you'll find is in NASA's liability waiver forms. That's a massive load of bunk. Since we started squinting closer with those billion-dollar bots, those colossal telescopes, we've been getting postcards from Mars that have given the science world the serious jitters. We're talking stuff that's forced scientists to scroll the word mystery right next to the explanation column in their notebooks. If you thought the cosmos was a movie rated PG, well, congratulations, mate. You're watching the heavily censored version. Today, Space Plus is ripping off that filter. This ain't some dodgy conspiracy theory garbage. These are 10 actual verified discoveries backed by NASA, ESA and world-class telescopes. Raw data, cold, hard and so baffling it's forced us to ask, what in the blazes is actually going on beneath Mars's big red crust? Strap yourselves in, because after this video, your definition of a dead planet is gonna change forever. Full stop.
First, the flickering light, Curiosity's impossible beam. We kick off with one of the most bonkers self-portraits humanity has ever popped. In 2019, the Curiosity rover was just casually snapping a few landscapes and boom! A brilliant white light suddenly shot straight up into the Martian sky, not just once, but across multiple frames. Initially, the whole crew at JPL, NASA, were all thinking, crikey, another bloody cosmic ray, is it? Easy as. But here's where our story starts to shed its skin. First up, cosmic rays usually create long streaks or rando bright dots. This one, it was a concentrated beam of light, seemingly with a clear source right on the ground, like someone just flicked on a spotlight. Second, scientists tried to blame Curiosity's camera or tiny bits of metal on the rover reflecting the light, but they compared it with similar bright spots recorded earlier in completely different areas. That spot had no big reflective materials, no frozen lakes, and absolutely no mirror large enough to create that effect. Third, the utterly unique angle. NASA had to reluctantly label it an anomalous light reflection. Have a squeeze at that. The world's leading space agency can't explain a basic beam of light. If it's not a cosmic ray and it's not the sun's light, then what in the heck is switching on and off beneath the surface of Mars? Some of the bolder researchers chucked in suggestions: underground lightning discharge, igniting natural gas. However, Mars's thin atmosphere makes these theories a bit hard to swallow. Whatever the official explanation, that photo remains a stark reminder: the red planet's got its own lighting secrets we haven't even cottoned onto yet.
Second, the face on Mars, a symbol of curiosity. Next up was Viking 1 in 1976, a photo that forever changed our relationship with Mars. I'm talking about the face in the Cydonia region. NASA back then tried to squash it with one word: pareidolia, which is that trick your brain plays where you see electrical outlets as human faces, you know? The truth that gives geologists a real headache. When later missions, especially the Mars Global Surveyor, re-photographed that area with higher resolution, yeah, it was eroded, but the fundamental symmetry of a mesa formation, a solitary hill, was still suspiciously present. This isn't just some hill. Those who believe it's an artificial structure have pointed out the proportions of the face are too perfectly balanced for natural weathering rules. They even found precise geometrical alignment between the face and other nearby structures, like the pancake pyramids, as if there was a hidden blueprint. Mainstream geologists still stick to the natural explanation, but remember this: a rock never becomes a legend. It becomes a legend because it touches a deep nerve in us, the possibility of a grander history, a civilization that once existed and vanished right next door to us. In the cosmos, perfect coincidence is a bloody expensive concept. So are we buying a geological bargain or a historical smoking gun?
Third, the red planet's breath, erratic methane plumes. This is one of the hottest scientific mysteries going around, methane. Back on Earth, 90% of methane is a byproduct of life, from teeny tiny bacteria to the cows having a good graze. In 2013, Curiosity sent back a shocker. Atmospheric methane concentrations suddenly spiked 10 times the usual baseline, then completely disappeared after just a few days. It's a bit like Mars took a massive breath out, and then just held its breath. The big picture. These methane spikes aren't just random, mate. They seem to be cyclical, following the seasons. But seriously, why? Methane out in space gets broken down by the sun's UV rays over a few hundred years. If we're picking up these big plumes, that means the source generating it is active right bloody now. The deep dive. We've got two scientific camps completely clashing on this one. The biological hypothesis could be methane bacteria, methanogens, having a bit of a go deep beneath the surface, where they've got liquid water and stable temps. They pump out methane when the conditions are just right. The geological hypothesis. A process called serpentinization, mineralization, might be creating the methane when water mixes with olivine rock. But for a process like this to occur on such a massive scale and with that kind of cycle, Mars would need some seriously strong geological action happening. The biggest hurdle, though, is this. ESA's orbiters are trying to sniff out methane from way up high, while Curiosity is measuring it from the ground. The results, mate, they often don't line up. This is a massive clue that the methane isn't spread widely, it's all localised, coming from very specific, tiny little spots where it's leaking out. We're out here looking for aliens right on the surface, but the most crucial evidence might just be the very breath of a living thing tucked away deep beneath our feet. Is methane the ultimate message from Mars's subterranean world? Fourth, the scars of an ancient core. Magnetic field anomalies. Mars lost its global magnetic field, the shield protecting it, billions of years ago. That's why it turned into a barren, dead planet. Or at least that's the story we've been told. But the Mars Global Surveyor Orbiter painted a different picture. Some patches of the Martian crust are still intensely magnetised, tens of times stronger than the background level. It's like an old bloke still rocking ripped muscles at 80. Crucial intel. These areas are anything but random. They form long alternating stripes, a clear pattern located in the southern hemisphere. Scientists call this the remnants of Mars's ancient dynamo, meaning it once had a super-rotating core of molten metal, generating a colossal magnetic field. The thing that sends a shiver down your spine is that many of the strongest magnetic anomalies are right in the areas where we found evidence of past flowing liquid water. Could it be that this powerful magnetic field protected the water and life for a longer stretch than we ever thought? Just picture this. These magnetic stripes are like the barcode of a lost civilization, recording every moment of the planet's magnetic history. NASA calls it remnants, but the precision and repetition of that pattern are still a massive question mark, firing up the imagination of those who believe in underground tech or magnetically shielded structures from an ancient race. Fifth, the rectangular gateway, an invitation from hell. In 2022, Curiosity made waves again.
An image captured on the side of a Martian mountain recorded an object that looked exactly like a doorway, perfectly rectangular, carved deep into the cliff face. This isn't a dark smudge. It has sharp edges, 90-degree corners, and an interior space that appears unusually smooth. Accurate information? NASA quickly called things down, explaining it's only about 30 centimeters high and almost certainly a fracture caused by seismic stress or a collapsed rock layer. Counterpoint? Stoking curiosity. But independent researchers point out that in geology, perfectly geometric cracks like that are incredibly rare. It's in an easily fractured rock layer, but there's a lack of evidence for major recent seismic activity nearby. Space Plus's unique take? This is a perfect example of the saying, nature copies intelligent design, or intelligent design is part of nature. Even though it's a tiny fissure, it's etched into our subconscious the image of a cosmic keyhole, a secret passage, perhaps only for tiny beings, or a sign that something once tried to carve geometry into this planet. If the universe is a derelict house, then could this tiny door be the way for minuscule creatures to enter and escape the outside world?
6th, radio signal from the forbidden zone, the voice of solitude. Zipping back to Earth, where we have a sticky beak into space. In 2019, the Breakthrough Listen project, which is all about hunting for alien signals, picked up the most fair dinkum signal ever detected. It came from the direction of Mars. Key characteristics. This signal wasn't a fuzzy mess like cosmic noise, broad, chaotic. Nope. It was a narrow band signal, focused, and it held steady for several minutes. This is exactly the kind of earmark SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, is chasing, a technological fingerprint. The real kicker? After months of internal deep dives, scientists couldn't match it to any satellite, any human tech. The location and the timing were totally out of whack. Officially, it got lumped into the unidentified radio frequency interference category. But the thing that gives you the proper chills is, why was it pointing towards Mars? Could it be coming from a sneaky little probe we don't know about? Or the even more bonkers idea, is it from some structure on the Martian surface pumping out a message? That signal only popped up once and then did a runner. It's a painful reminder we're listening to a silent universe, but every now and then there's a quiet whisper coming from the red planet's way.
7th, giant glass pipes, an ancient transport system? If you're chasing a genuine visual mystery, take a squiz at the high-res satellite photos from the Mars Global Surveyor back in the 2000s. You'll spot what they call a runner-form terrain, a network of long, transparent tube-like structures snaking right across the landscape. NASA reckons there's surface channels carved out by carbon dioxide gas exploding up from beneath the ice, a bit like a gas blast cracking the pavement. This has really grabbed the attention of independent scientists because of the shape. They're not all over the shop like other geological cracks. They run dead straight with smooth bends, sometimes crisscrossing in a surprisingly orderly fashion. The reflection. The real corker is their light-reflecting quality. The surface is smooth, shiny, suggesting a glass-like material or maybe a glazed crust. Imagine for a sec you're looking at the metro system of a civilization that's completely gone belly up. These tubes could be collapsed transport tunnels or perhaps transparent domed structures used to shield life from the solar radiation. Whether it's carbon dioxide or actual tech, a natural formation that has this kind of repeated structure and glass-like reflection is a proper head-scratcher that keeps plenty of people awake at night. What's more of a mystery than a dead planet? A dead planet that still has the ghost of a civilization that tried to live inside glass pipes. Eighth, skull on a rock, fossil evidence or just a visual trick? In 2014, Curiosity snapped the skull rock. This time it wasn't just a shadow. The rock's overall shape and symmetrical features make you want to rub your eyes. Eye sockets, a clear jawline, and a distinct cranial outline. What's really caught the eye is that some amateur geologists reckon this rock seems denser, less eroded than the surrounding stones. Could Mars's mineralization process actually cook up structures that mimic fossils? Mars, with its thin atmosphere, is actually an incredible preservation environment. Minimal water erosion, bugger all tectonic activity. If ancient life was ever around, it might have been mineralized and kept in top nick for millions of years, just waiting for us to rock up and find it. Skull Rock isn't proof, but it is a fair dinkum reminder. Evidence is sometimes just a bizarre rock in the right spot at the right time, forcing us to dream about a different past for Mars. Ninth, the beating heart, Mars's Great Awakening. Back in 2019, the InSight lander successfully plonked its seismic sensors into the ground, and the discovery has absolutely flipped our entire concept of Mars on its head. This planet is not dead. It was just snoozing. The exact finding, InSight recorded a whole stack of Mars quakes. Many of the quakes were caused by meteoroid impacts or surface tension, but a few were just too deep, too regular, and didn't have a clear source. The dodgy spot, plenty of the biggest quakes came from one specific area, near a massive volcanic region, where there are some deep, proper cracks. This suggests that magma, lava, beneath the surface is still shifting about. We used to reckon Mars was a cold, hard planet, but now the data shows its internal heat is still driving movement and potentially creating a stable environment for liquid water and methane in deep underground bunkers. Mars isn't a cold corpse, mate. It's a massive beast in hibernation, and we've just given it a nudge. What's going to happen when it genuinely wakes up? 10th, shadows and energy waves, the Phobos moon mystery. Finally, we look up at the sky. Mars has two quirky moons, Deimos and Phobos. Phobos is slowly falling towards Mars, generating high-speed solar eclipses on the surface. The anomaly. When the rovers log Phobos' shadow passing over, the instruments also record unusual electromagnetic fluctuations, local energy bursts that don't match up with the typical eclipse map. The compelling theory. Scientists reckon that Phobos might be interacting with anomalous magnetic patches on the Martian surface. But the thing that truly made Phobos legendary is this. Back in the 1960s, astronomers clocked its extremely low density. Phobos is very likely a hollow, captured asteroid. But that hollow theory has genuinely been thrashed out in serious research, conjuring up images of a massive artificial structure, an ancient space station camouflaged as a moon. Phobos' shadow, along with the electromagnetic signals it creates, is physical evidence that we still don't fully understand how the red planet is interacting with its satellites and its leftover magnetic field, eh? Well, there you have it. 10 mysteries, 10 hard facts. 10 times we have to just cop it sweet that Mars isn't the planet we were taught about in school. We've seen the flicking light flash on and off from an unknown source. We've touched the face and the gate, things that defy eroding logic. We've had a whiff of the methane breath of a planet that is still alive, and heard the heartbeat from quakes with no origin. And we've seen those unexplainable magnetic stripes, like the scars of a cosmic warrior.
Space Plus doesn't just spin a yarn. We want you to feel it. Feel the sheer awe and the shiver down your spine that a scientist faces when hard facts clash with ingrained belief. Mars is not the end of the search. It's the threshold. It's an invitation. It's the clearest evidence that life, technology, or the universe's secrets aren't just out there somewhere. They're right next door, waiting to be unearthed. Mars has changed the game. It's no longer a planet. It's a question. And the only way to answer it is to dare to challenge what we reckon we know. Now it's your turn. Take another squiz at these 10 things. Which mystery do you reckon is the smoking gun for ancient life or civilization? Chuck your thoughts or your most bonkers hypothesis in the comments below. We're having a sticky beak. If this video has just made your brain do a triple somersault and you felt a jolt of curiosity shoot right up your back, don't just watch. Launch into the cosmos with us. Hit that subscribe button right now. It's not just a button, it's your personal launch pad into the deepest cosmic enigmas. Give that notification bell a good bash so you don't miss the next trip from Space Plus, where learning is an adrenaline-pumping game and knowledge is the grandest adventure. Space Plus, get your curiosity fully fizzing right now.